just not saying or putting out the call or the invitation for sake of just making a call. We are sincere about this. In the first instance, I think in a democratic setup, while protest is allowed, it's legitimate, but there is also a process. And I think protest should be the last resort. Because what we can win and achieve on the boardroom or around the table, we would maybe possibly have the same outcome on the streets. So why don't we start with in the boardroom and have an open and transparent dialogue? Government is sincere with this call, and like I said, we would have preferred a situation where the movement submitted a public petition. It's prescribed, there's a process, there's a way, and government would have done exactly what we are doing today. And like I said, the protest, whatever the outcome of the protest, the desired objective is a peaceful, transparent, corrupt-free, where possible, Gambia. Let's dialogue, let's discuss this. It's a possibility. We are on the same page, like the minister has said. It's not us versus them. We are one state, we are one entity, we are one Gambia. With respect to the case, maybe Attorney General will speak to this. It's just a process that the state had to take. But I believe ultimately when the dialogue space is open and is accepted, then your recommendation will come into play. Thank you. The nature of the cases are different. There are those that are outright theft, the planning, the executions, and even when confronted with the facts, there was denial. So it was deliberate. And the conclusion led to only one thing, misconduct. So then those decisions were taken. In the case, maybe termination or dismissals in some cases. Now with this instance, the gentleman claimed that the money were used during transit. So when he was confronted, because the players themselves said, no, we were not given any such things. But he, plus few other testimonies that suggest that he might have used some, but the commission did not believe it. So it was a lie, as far as the commission was concerned. Now, this was an interest. So he hadn't planned to steal. It was a legitimate money given for specific purpose. He conducted the purpose, but in the process also lie about it. Okay, the intent might have been there, but again, like I said, he did indicate that he had used some of the money. And he presented his defense at the commission, presented some facts, but the general conclusion was that this is not believable. We are going by our assertions, and that is the money was not used, as you said. Now, the recourse of government or the recommendation of the commission was, okay, first step, return this money. And the money was returned. All right? So, and then what is the consequence? Next step, then they recommended for demotion, and that was also done. Now, again, even the case is still being reviewed, but at the moment, that is where the case was. The primary objective of government was to recover every budget of the funds, and that was done.
Looking at the magnitude of the two obscene amounts in two cases here, this could be considered as selective justice, given the fact that probably the man in question might be close to the government. $30,000 to $950,000. You made mention of the intention to lie, or he already lied, and somebody who just collected $30,000. No. Does it make logic to actually terminate his services and leaving the other person to pay? Couldn't that strategy also be applied on the other person to also recover? Because $10,000 might take him probably just a month or so.
Thank you for that. I think where you are getting it wrong is you're looking at the figures. You're not looking at the circumstances itself. That's the fact. Every case is unique. Every case, you look at the circumstances, and you weigh the circumstances in terms of intent, there are so many checks. It's not the amount you only check. You're just focusing on 9730. No. That is not the way law works, and it's not the way justice works. No, what I'm saying is that you need to understand the particulars of the case itself. You don't look at the figures. Don't look at the figures. Even if you go to the criminal justice system, two people will commit the same crime. They'll free one, and they'll convict one. So that's not the way justice works. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think the cases